Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. This reports for the 14th of January, and well, it was a little under the weather the other day. Still recovering from it, but what I talked about before when it came to the NBI on the magenta here was that pivot back below under the 25 would spell serious weakness within the configuration. I mean, everything else was pointing to the upside plus. You just had the resistance right there at 76%, which was 47.32. And literally just caved from that particular point. And same pivot taking place there, and actually worse with the white leading on the NASDAQ. And the expectation there with the white having moved above that move to zero, which it did here in the quick tail. I think now we're going to get most likely that fulfill with a solid close at or near there. Gold is going to continue its press, not even an issue from that standpoint. The euro in its spike, given the fact that the dollar really isn't in a good spot with the Fed signaling that they're not going to do anything about interest rates. It makes other currencies a bit more attractive, though. The euro is probably not the greatest setup, but I mean, given a disaster amongst all, it's just going to be a back and forth. From an oil standpoint, that those peaking numbers, there's going to be just continued problems going forward with that. There's just so many warning signs that it's just hard to ignore them. And people that do just are in a happy camp or something. I don't know what, but I would just be vigilant about things that we're seeing and pay attention to it. From a Bitcoin standpoint, had that nice little run up, a lot of positive extremes from this midpoint right about here at the 42.8 range, and that filled right back to it pretty darn quick too, and still expressing some weakness. The same thing is taking place with Ethereum. Started its breakdown. It's so clean on Ethereum, it just matches the algo setup so beautifully, really simple and easy on the same 5,000 tick that we would normally trade off of the ES, which I think is just a fantastic model to be able to have that capability with the crypto asset. Really neat. And from a 50K standpoint, it took the short setup, where was that, 47.05, and then just covered it 46.61, so not bad. I haven't looked at the performance report, and still in the mid 2.5, 50% range from a long standpoint, and 1.67, 45% on the short side of that, and it's just going to ebb and flow. I'm still working with the short setups to improve that configuration to stop some of the little quick ones that it does, but overall, excellent stuff. And then from a 5K standpoint, well, we're looking at the current configuration right now in weakness mode, going back to near zero level at this particular stage. But early on, I mean, captured some beautiful short setups. Sad that I missed this setup simply because it was not well enough to be trading. I was in around here, saw it was there, had shorted, and pretty much was just like, okay, let's stop, and that's that, and yeah, pretty much slept the rest of the time. So, but every short configuration, beautiful, just filling back each of the previous lines that we had going back from before. So I just think it's nice and clean when we see it this way. Everything responding exactly as I'd hoped they would. So all in all, good stuff. It'll be interesting to see if we're able to hold that 46. I think I want to do a little bit more in-depth from a daily, weekly setup and see if I can project some longer-term hypothesis for us, just to have going into the start of the year. It's always fun to have an idea of where we may see things trend. As always, though, Trade well. We'll talk to you later.